yesterday, and not only yesterday, but a few recent episodes, I've mentioned black Muslim reverts, and I feel like I want to elaborate on what it is that I'm getting at when I'm discussing black Muslim reverts, and I'm going to break it down. So I'm going to just put a spotlight on an individual that I personally know from a youth who has now converted to Islam and is, living his life in Islam. And I want to put the spotlight on this person. This is just one example of why you hear me say the things I've said in the recent episodes. So before I go into that example, let me say this. For those Muslim reverts who have reverted to Islam and are living their life, fair play. My comments are not aimed at you in the slightest. If you're a man who's just lived your life and you found Islam and that is how you want to proceed, fair play. Again, my comments are not aimed at you. So for everyone who's watching this now, take yourself away from this conversation and isolate it to what it is I'm about to say. Now, growing up in Brum, there were a lot of idle people, a lot of people who lacked purpose, who lacked motivation, who lacked ambition, who was actually a pestilence within our community. These people were involved in stabbings, shootings, all kind of madness these people were taking part in. Now, I think it's very, very offensive for us within the black Birmingham Caribbean community to act as though no elders, no community members, nobody tried to talk to these individuals. I feel like it's a slap in the face. So there was this one guy that I personally knew this boy from a very young age. We went to play scheme together. We used to play football together. And this is a man who lost his way in Brum. And what he did is he started getting involved in the wrong crowd and, getting his name was being called for a lot of violent crimes within the city. And I remember there was an older man within the community. This was an older man, a very calm, quiet man who was a man of very few words, but he was passionate about the youth within the community. And anyway, I remember one day this man pulled this youth aside and gave him a story. I was there. He gave him a story, and the story was something about him being from a real deprived background. And coming from this deprived background, he was talking about how he fell into the wrong crowd. Now, when he fell into this wrong crowd, he was speaking about how, he felt like he didn't belong within this crowd, and he felt like the things that they were doing were wrong. And to cut a long story short, he turned his life around. Now, the story was told so eloquently, so passionately, that it could have brought a tear to your eye, the way how this man told you the story. Now, not only this man, but this individual's parents were good people within the community. Both worked decent jobs, both provided for their family members, etc., etc. And these people spent years trying to get through to him. His dad even put him onto like an apprenticeship, and they worked really, really hard trying to get this boy on the straight and narrow. But he just didn't care. He just didn't care about what anybody that looked like him had to say. So anyway, one particular day, he was locked up for being involved in an armed robbery. People, he went to prison, and within the first 6 months of being in prison, he converted to Islam, It was converted by a Muslim guy, a non-black Muslim guy, and he came home after a few years in jail, and you know, he grew out his beard real long, combs it out with a hot comb. He's on it. That's all I'm going to say. He's on it, and he's turned his life around. Where I'm offended is that he's turned his life around, yes, but he don't give no type of accolades or no type of acknowledgement to the community members that spent years trying to talk to him. He don't give them any type of acknowledgement, like to say, yo, when I was going down a dark path, it was you, man, who was trying to talk me out of it, and I didn't take no notice. But when you've gone to prison, all it took is one non-black person to talk to you for you to see the error of your ways. So with that being said, folks, these guys, a lot of these guys don't respect those who look like them, which is why when those who look like them tell them to change the error of their ways, tell them to, you know, be careful and, you know, change your life around and all these different things, they don't listen. But when from someone outside of the community comes along and says these things, these men are obliging almost immediately and changing your whole religion and everything else. That's a problem, people, and that needs to be addressed. Why man don't listen to those who look like them. I've gave you an example. A man's mom, a man's dad, both provided, both present. So what's the excuse? Why not listen to them who know you and love you, but it takes you to reach absolute rock bottom before you realize the error of your ways within our community. And that's the problem. That's the issue. And that's why I mention the things that I mention. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's that.